So who was Arthur Szyk? Arthur Szyk was most widely known as a political artist in America during World War II, as arguably the leading anti-Nazi artist here in the United States fighting against the Axis. Szyk was an activist artist and who used his art really primarily in the service of mankind. Szyk himself was born in Lodz, Poland in 1894. He immigrated to the United States in 1940, really in the wake of the Holocaust. He illuminated texts, was an artist who always believed that art is not my aim, it is my means. And so he used his art to fight against injustice and tyranny. And in fact, he saw himself as a soldier in art. Propaganda sometimes has a negative connotation. For motivating America to get involved in the war, Szyk used his art as propaganda for a just cause. In the 1930s, Arthur Szyk began his anti-Nazi art. Hitler came to power, and already in 1933-34, he's doing a picture of Hitler looking like Pharaoh. In 1935, he does a picture of Hitler standing on top of the Reichstag with an olive branch in one hand, but Szyk has painted him with sheep's clothing. In addition to attacking the Nazis during the war years, he created a great deal of anti-Japanese art. It attacked the Axis, the Vichy French, Mussolini. He went after personalities. In Satan Leads the Ball, we actually see Satan followed by a great number of the Axis leaders and the participants. His art became a visual commentary on the times. When his art appeared, one needed to write no essay or commentary on it. It was a statement in itself. It was an indictment of evil. It was an advocacy for the oppressed. It was a force to be reckoned with on many levels. The size of Arthur Szyk's art was about like this. This is about the height, 5, 6, 7 inches. That would be about the height, and 3, 4, 5 inches wide. His art was on the front cover of Time magazine. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, it was his art of Admiral Yamamoto that was on the front cover of Time. When it came to be the Labor Day, it was Arthur Szyk's art that was on the front cover of Collier's magazine. His art was shown at over 500 USO bases. Every GI who went overseas saw Arthur Szyk's art. In fact, an Esquire magazine survey said that his art was more popular with the GIs under the Selective Service Act than were pinups. How popular was Arthur Szyk's art? How well received was it? It was everywhere. The Chicago Sun carried numerous works of art, and particularly De Profundis, which is subtitled "Cain, Where is Abel thy brother?" and it shows lifeless and dying Jews with Jesus dying with the Jewish people, holding the Ten Commandments as if were he a Jew, he too would have been murdered at that time. He was certainly vicious in his art, which was also beautiful. There's a combination of a certain sense of going after an enemy, but yet having striking beauty at the same time. It's almost like it doesn't fit, you know. He was a man who, while America had a mission to fight, you know, Nazism and its racism abroad, Szyk was willing to do that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, he had no blinders. He was willing to look around him and see what was going on in American society and was willing to attack that at the very moment that he was fighting on behalf of America against the Axis in Europe. So, but yet he also created an image of a black soldier and a white soldier walking side by side during the war, where the white GI says to the black GI, "Tell me, what would you do with Hitler?" And the black GI responds, "I would make him a Negro, and I would drop him somewhere in the USA." Szyk loved America, but he wasn't afraid to attack it. If it's being an upstander or standing up to injustice or facing up to history or facing history, Szyk was willing to look at not only the history but also what was unfolding in his own time that later on, we might be looking back at as historical fact and say, you know, here's somebody who stood up, here's someone who counts for something, here's a message to be delivered. And I think that here's a visual artist who's painting a visual image that he hopes will stand up to time. I think he's done it pretty well. It's just that the world is just about discovering it now.